So let's pretend that I need some sound effects for one of my tutorials. You might not need to pretend. If you're doing a podcast or you're doing any kind of dramatic work or filming in environments where the wild audio that you're getting, it doesn't really work all that well, you might need to replace some of those sounds with pre-recorded sounds that are cleaner. Fortunately for us, Davinci Resolve comes with the Fairlight Sound Library, I think it's called. And it's free. It doesn't come with Resolve right away though. You have to go and download it. So let's go ahead and do that first. We'll go to blackmagicdesign.com, go to the support page, hit Davinci Resolve and Fusion software, and then I cheat. I find on page, and I find library, which usually takes us to the Blackmagic Fairlight Sound Library 1.0, released on the 7th of December, 2020. Which was a little while ago, and you can see here you'd have to scroll down quite a ways to find that. This is why I use the search page function. So you download whichever version you want, and we'll say Windows here. And as usual with Blackmagic, it will ask you to register since this is a free project. They don't need a valid email. They don't send you the link via email. You get the link directly after you put your information in. So if the information is not correct, because you value your privacy, that's not up to me. I do wish that Blackmagic gave us the ability to download these things without giving them our information every time. But such is life. Once you've entered it, hit next. It'll give you a download link. You download it, unzip it, and install it. Really not that hard. And let's go back to our scene here where I am going to use some of those sound effects. So, all right. I think that door slam and that door open are a little bit too loud. Actually, they're a lot a bit too loud. So I'm going to go ahead and do what you might do, or you might think is going to work. And that is cut the beginning here and just turn that down by about 6 dB. But there's a problem with that. Listen carefully. The background noise suddenly jumps up in volume. Not my favorite. So I'm just going to leave that be for the moment. And all right. Boy, that's loud and kind of muffled. So I'm going to go ahead. We can try turning that down too. This one might actually work because when the door closes, there's a natural change in the sound. Resonance stops right about there, and we can turn that down 6, 7 dB as well. All right. Mission accomplished. Okay, that one would work. But just for the sake of argument, let's go ahead and hit the sound effects and turn off the media pool, turn on the sound library, and search for car. No. Okay, search for door. Let's search for slam. No. What happened? We installed it right? Well, as it turns out, you have to go to this little menu here and select which library you're looking at. And then it will show you nothing until you search for something. So let's say car door. So now when you click on one, you can play it and hear what it sounds like. I'm not too fond of that one, too fast for what we've got going on. So car door grab, okay. Maybe. Let's see about this one. I kind of like that one better for the car door opening. So now we can just take this clip and drag it down just like any other clip. I'm going to zoom in and kind of match up where the sounds are starting. That's pretty close. Now let's go ahead and disable that one. And we don't need all of this, of course, so we'll cut it to length on both ends. And let's hear that. Open. I like it matches the door opening. Let's look at the timing this time. Open. Okay. I think it works. Of course, the background sound is an issue because there's no background sound from the interior of the car, or ambient sound as we call it. There's none of that in the recorded little sound bite that I brought in, little sound effect that I brought in for it. So here's how you fix that. One of the ways you can fix that. You can see in this part of the audio from the camera inside the car that there's no dialogue. So if I cut that to size and I select Alt and I drag it, I can create more of the background ambience. Let's hear how that sounds. And turn the door sound down while we're at it. Turn that down a bit too. Open. It is not flawless. There's other ways of doing this. Like when you typically when you are recording wild audio, if you really want to do this right, you would record 10 seconds of the ambient sound in the room and just have that somewhere so that you can use it in situations like this. But that little quick drag and drop from nearby kind of works. Somebody with a tuned ear might hear some repetition in there, but most of the time it's going to go by so quick nobody's really going to notice. All right, so let's look for the door closing sound. Let's see the door open. Oh, hey, door shut. That even looks about the same, doesn't it? Still a little bassy, but let's bring it down and see how it does. Okay, we'll move it into place. Get it as close as we can. And trim off the end because we don't need all that. And we'll disable that one with the D key, hotkey, and it goes real quick. Oh, and let's turn this down as well because we don't need it to be that loud. Open. Mission accomplished. Again, the background noise drops out. We can grab some here right before I start talking. Hold Alt and drag it back. Now you can see it doesn't quite cover. So what I'm going to do is drag it all the way back, and then I'm going to do it again to kind of, that way it's not like the cut points aren't cycling in a rhythm. It's the rhythm that people can pick up more easily. So we'll see how that sounds. Open. Mission accomplished. You know what So the Fairlight library has a lot of good stuff in it, but it doesn't have everything by a long shot. So let's see. I'm going to look for gun. There's gunshots. Great. Pistol, I can do, let's see. Is there a gun cocking? Yeah, gun load and cock. Okay, good enough. How about shotgun? No shotgun. Machine gun. Nope. And this is all guns, right? This is stuff you would have in a drama. If you have guns in your tutorial videos or your community videos or your interviews, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But let's see what else. Let's say we're doing a documentary and we've got somebody washing dishes, but the sound of them washing dishes didn't turn out too well. So we want to see if we can put something else in there that's believable even if it's not correct. So dishes. Ceramic dishes. Table clearing. Let's see. There's a variety of sound in there that you could then drag down into the timeline and then cut up and move to where they seem to fit best. Dishes dropped on the countertop. Maybe that could be part of it. Let's see, sink. Bathroom sink running on and off. Okay, that could be part of washing dishes. Let's see, wash, washer, dryer. Okay, that's not going to help. Now, have you noticed that I'm kind of guessing at keywords and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong? There really isn't any way to tell what all is in here. So what you have to do is put 3 asterisks or wildcards and then the entire library will show up, and you can kind of scroll through it and get an idea of what you've got, like BF down M. Intro water compilation. BF, maybe it's body full. Ball catch. Bag unzip, there you go. Baseball bat movement, bathing, water splashes. Oh, I wonder if we could use that for our dishes. Yeah, you could probably put a little of that in. So you see, I have to go through the sounds and kind of decode what they call them and see where else I could use them. But it's kind of fun. It's a little bit like making, what's it called, a collage. Except instead of doing it with newspaper clippings, you're doing it with, whatever you can find in the sound library. So it's designed for dramatic films. Davinci Resolve is primarily a filmmaking platform, and certainly these kinds of sounds are designed for dramatic films, but you can still use them in your podcast and whatnot. We'll get into it a bit more later, how to find other sounds and music in particular. Music is a big deal, because you can't just put music in from the radio or something that you've downloaded or you have on, Spotify or whatnot. And there are mechanisms in the streaming platforms that will listen for or detect copywritten music and get your program off the platform if it has copywritten music in it that you cannot. Copyrighted? Music that you shouldn't be using, music that you don't own. So we'll get into royalty-free music in another episode. But thanks for coming along. Hope to catch you in the next one.